That is Tony Braxton, another sad love song. So I am in New York. I'm broadcasting from New York this week. So I go out to dinner, and I'm coming back to my apartment, and the police are out front. And so I go in, I talk to the doorman, because black people, whenever the police are out front, I'm like, did something happen in my apartment? I don't know. I don't know what happened. So the doorman said, no, this guy on the fifth floor. The fifth floor is where, so if you live in luxury apartments in New York, they have to have a certain amount that's set aside for lower income people, right? And so even though you pay exorbitant rents where I live, if you win the lotto, you can live in the same building I live in for like $1,000, which I don't even know if you can live like that anywhere. But so I come in and say there's problems on the fifth floor. This guy has a key to his apartment, and he unlocks and she locks it. She told me to call the police, and so the police are here. And I said, is it a brother? And he said yes. And I said, I'm gonna wait down in the lobby to make, because I'm always talking about how we should be responsible for each other and look out for each other. So I said, I'm going to wait down in the lobby just to make sure that there's eyes on this thing, so if things go left. Because you got a domestic situation, it's on the fifth floor, that's so it could be a bad deal. So about 15 minutes go by. This dude had to be 6'5" in a white beater. He comes down with a whole bag, clear plastic bag of Air Jordans, still in a box, and another plastic bag of clothes, right? And the police are behind him, and he's obviously visibly upset. He looks at the doorman and says, "You know me?" And he said, "Hey man, I've seen you here, but your name is not on the lease, so there's nothing I can do." And he said, "Hollywood talking to me. You know me?" I said, "Man, I've seen you before, but I don't know. I'm just you cool? I'm trying to make sure you cool, right?" So the dude was visibly upset. He kept getting more upset, and they ushered him out. They got him a taxi. They put him, and when they came back in, I said, "Thank you," because I appreciate how delicate that situation was and how it could have gone a different way. And I said that the way you handle that, obviously, when you call the police, it's not for pleasant circumstances, and there are going to be things that have to happen, and obviously that's a very tenuous situation where it's a domestic situation, and things could go left. I said, but you handled that as well as I've ever seen, and I said I've been a vocal opponent of some of the things I've seen as far as policing, so I have to be just as verbal when it comes to it, and I commend you for the way you handled it. And they said, thank you very much. We don't get that enough. And the thing that I noticed about these two cats, they were Latin. I don't know if they were Dominican or Republican or Dominican or Puerto Rican, but they were clearly Latin, and they were clearly not. They were not unfamiliar with seeing mad black dudes. That didn't seem to be a thing. They had seen it before, and it didn't seem to be where it had to go to DEFCON 3. They understood what the deal was. They were familiar. And this is interesting because this is in Tribeca, where cats like that don't ever get calls like that. So obviously it's not that they came from the street, they work in a rough neighborhood. And you got the sense that they had seen this before, and they were not uncomfortable with it, and they knew how to handle it. They understood. They held this man with dignity as much as you could. They got him out. They got him a taxi. They de-escalated the situation. And it is police officers like that make a very difficult job worthwhile. So I commend you. They're on the first division in New York, in Tribeca. I have to say they did a good job. And I have to say this. I think people not being uncomfortable, looking like an opposing army. Like these cats you knew that they knew what was happening. They were like, "What's up, dog?" The way they spoke, the way they carried themselves, they were not uncomfortable. And I think that's what happens. Some people walk in like an occupying army and escalate a situation, and it becomes a situation that gets way out of hand. How many people have died because they were pulling out the driver's license? I thought he had a gun, or he was loud. These cats, because they were comfortable, because they had been familiar, and so they were able to de-escalate a situation, and I have to give them nothing but kudos. So thank you very much. It could have went another way, man. So Officer, I'm gonna say Gonzalez, and I don't know what their last names were. I don't know, but the two Latin dudes, I'm sure. The two Latin dudes that work in Tribeca, because it ain't many of them. Congratulations, you did such an exceptional job, and you make you kind of restore our faith in what policing is all about. That's a note from the GED section. The Jazz Report is coming up right after Eric Benaz to the Hughley Show.